Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's going to be a little bit different. It's kind of difficult to try to put out videos 3 or 4 times a week, so I may slow down to about 1 or 2. But today's going to be a compilation of some of my older videos. So today we're going to talk about some whistleblowers and some possible contactees. Now, of course, there's some stuff that I still have to work on with you guys or show to you guys, like Billy Meier. I do believe that Billy Meier saw a couple of things, but I just don't 100% believe on a lot of stuff he put out there. But I have a video working on that. I do have to get that out to you guys. And then there'll also be some stuff on Bob Lazar too. Bob Lazar, I've been following him since he came out in 89, 1990. And I do believe he worked at Area 51 and S4. So you'll see a little bit of information on that and some stuff about some of how the craft fly. And I think that some of the things that we would term actual UFOs and not ARVs or anything is going to be fitting more in that category with that. And then we'll also have 2 other whistleblowers. And I think that the whistleblowers, probably from about 2010 on down, were actual whistleblowers. I mean, they came with information. Today's whistleblowers are saying, hey, I saw this, but I can't tell you. Well, this is what this looks like, but we have to do this and that to get it. That's not really a whistleblower, in my opinion. But some of the ones you're going to see on here is going to be like Carl Wolf. He's one of the first people that talked about seeing bases on the dark side of the moon. And that was in a 2001 conference with Stephen Greer. And that was very interesting. The first time I heard that, that blew my mind. And I think he said he saw that in the 90s when he was maybe a airman basic or something in the Air Force or something. But you'll see that in this video. And then there's going to be William Tompkins as well, who talks a little bit about the moon landing and some of the stuff that the astronauts saw there. I do personally believe we went to the moon, but I don't think that the stuff they showed us was 100% true either. But that's what you're going to see somewhat in today's video. It's going to be just a compilation of some of my older videos. I kind of put them together and put it out there. So anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you watching my channel. I appreciate you being with me. It's been about 2 years. It's been an interesting 2 years, but as the next few years progress forward, I got a lot more stuff coming on. I got interviews and stuff like that, but we'll get into that at another time. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Please watch it, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Put your comments down below if you like stuff like this, or if you want more in-depth on some of these whistleblowers, contactees. There's also some new contactees too that I'll put out there at some point in time. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next video later this week.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So we all know that there's tons of UFO footage out there, and I'm actually going to start backtracking and looking at some of this stuff and kind of breaking down and evaluating it, including this one you guys see right here. I got to get some more information on the location and stuff of it there. But then there's also other stuff that I'll be looking in the past, like some Billy Meier footage. Some people actually believe all the video stuff he has out there. I do believe Billy Meier saw something. I just don't believe all of his footage. I don't believe 90% of it. I mean, including this one, looks like it's just being tethered by a string or something back and forth. But there's a whole video coming out on the Billy Meier stuff as well. And then there's also this one too. This one was taken in 2008. And I'll have a lot more information once I do an investigation and try to figure out a little bit more about some of these video clips. But we're going to talk about this one here that was taken in the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa. This is the full video of it. It's a short video clip. It's only several seconds long, about maybe 15 to 20 seconds. But there is a little audio to it. You do hear kind of the ocean in the background. And the craft is going to be there, and then it's actually going to jet us off to the right. It's just going to shoot off to the right. And then bam, it's gone. And then the guy focuses in on it. Now this was taken in 2003, so it'd be a little bit harder for them to go in and kind of fake some stuff right there. And here's a close-up of it. What always amazed me about this video is that you guys see him zoom in and out, and then it kind of rotates, and then you see the sun actually reflecting off of it. Now they didn't have the type of drones we have today that over 20 years ago in 2003, so it'd be kind of hard for somebody to say this is a drone, and they didn't have, from what I know of, the computer technology to fake something like this or CGI this. And there it is, gone again. Now, like I said, this was taken off the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa. And some people are saying there's ocean, there's water in South Africa. Yes, there is. And if you look at this actual Google map of Cape of Good Hope, and then you look at the footage of the craft, you guys see that this was taken somewhere in this area. You guys can see that right there. I'm not saying this is the exact location, but it was taken somewhere over there. don't know where, but in 2003, if someone saw this, of course, the demographics probably changed just a little bit, but we don't know exactly where it was taken. But here's just a couple of photos, of course, the Cave of Good Hope, and where it could have been taken from. It could have been any one of these locations, but I'm pretty sure he was a lot further down when they actually took this particular video of this UFO craft flying. I'm pretty sure he was somewhere in that area there. So with the knowledge of that, this makes this the more interesting case. I need to go back to Google Maps, probably go back to, I don't think it was available in 2003 to see that. But this footage here, guys, I am more impressed with this. Like I said, here's another close-up and zooming in and slow down. I mean, you clearly see this crash. Some people said it looks like two hubcaps or whatever. We don't know. We've never seen them up close, at least the people I know, and I haven't seen them up close. But it does resemble some stuff that Billy Meier saw, and I do believe Billy Meier did see something, and it probably messed with him, and he just went in and maybe fabricated a couple of things as well. And the way Billy Meier's videos with the UFOs, they're kind of there, and then they just kind of float off the screen, sort of say, where this one actually moves off the screen. I mean, it's there and then it just shoots off the screen, where more of Billy Meier's, what you're seeing right there, his craft just kind of float there and then they just kind of come up to the camera and then they just kind of disappear. So with this, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. I'm more or less convinced that this is something more real that someone saw in 2003. Some people are saying, oh, I would have went crazy and all this and that. Well, not everyone's going to go crazy over this. This guy, whoever took this, guy or girl, probably saw it, was impressed by it, sat there and got a good photo of it. I mean, I got a good video of it, the best they could take in 2003. And then a few seconds later, it actually disappears off screen. So I commend the person for actually taking this and putting this out there. I believe this was loaded up maybe a couple of years after 2003. I think when YouTube started getting popular, people started putting this stuff out there. But you clearly see, like I said, the craft here, and it does look kind of not as smooth as some of the UFOs we've seen before. But there it is right there. You guys see it rotating. You saw the sun kind of reflect off of it as it rotated. I don't know why the sun would reflect on that particular part. Maybe that part of the craft has something that reflected more than the other part. I don't know. And the only reason why I'm not showing the ocean, because I want you guys to see how it looks like this craft is just rotating, you know, around, because, or maybe it's just there and it's moving and it's reflecting the sun in those certain particular areas. And then in just a second, you're going to see the craft actually shoot off to the right. And of course, when the craft moves to the right, it doesn't move like any of the Billy Meier video footage that we've seen. There it is there. And I'm going to try to slow it down some. You guys will see it here. Don't see any of that in any of the Billy Meier footage. But anyway, I'm going to be breaking down a lot more of this stuff. Like this here was taken in South Korea. So I'm trying to get the actual location of it and try to get some better footage of it. And even get some eyewitness testimonies if I can actually get it. Because there's a lot of people that actually saw this particular UFO flying in South Korea. So you guys stay tuned for that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends. And I'm going to start breaking down a lot of this footage, probably going back to the 40s up until today, so that we can get a better understanding of kind of what's going on and what's real and what's fake. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the next video.
There are 3 amplifiers. The craft can operate on a single one, can lift off the ground. The way in which it's propelled are 2 different ways. There's what they call Omicron configuration, where the craft is using one generator, or a delta configuration, where it's utilizing all three. Delta configuration would be for space travel. Essentially, the craft will tilt up on its side, as opposed to a science fiction movie where you see a flying saucer moving around. The craft will tilt up on its side, focus the 3 gravity generators to a single point, and move through space that way.
You're in a much more controlled situation, and the shape of the gravitational field, the artificial field around the craft, if you look at that and then we're able to stand at different vantage points, you can just look around it. Now, this isn't something new. We know this from, looking at faraway stars. They call it gravitational lensing, where a star might be over here, but because we're looking around another star, it bends light, and but here again, here is an artificial source, a machine that does this, and that's everything. But yeah, like I said, all the science fiction things become reality. There's your invisibility cloak, there's your impenetrable force field, here's your field propulsion system, and here's you're even beginning to tamper with potential time travel.
You do see this technology, it's damned amazing. What is your job? What do they tell you you're supposed to do?
The bottom job is not to figure out how this thing works or, let us know what this is, just can we make another one of these? So just let us know if you can.
Can we duplicate the
can
technology?
we duplicate it? Like it doesn't have to be exact, but find out how this thing works. If we need to make something that's bigger or do it but we want more of these things, and just do it right now. So that was it.
And the answer is, can we? I mean, can we?
No.
No.
No. No. No. No, we're just not even in the same ballpark.
Is it because of materials, or we just don't understand how it works?
It's both. Look, this is like dropping off an iPhone in the wagon train days and say, we're going to need more of these.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy 2024 to everyone. So we've all heard stories of things on the moon and seen photos of what we think may be actually UFOs or UAPs on the moon. We've actually had video footage that people have shared too about particular objects on the moon. I've shared this in another video and you guys can see the shadow casting from there. This is a pretty interesting video here. But we've all heard of possible bases and stuff being on the back side of the moon. How true that is, we've never actually seen photos of it, but we know that that story has been told for a while. So I'm going to introduce you to 2 people. One's going to be actually here, Carl Wolf. He's the one that actually in 2001 during the Stephen Greer, he had a disclosure meeting in 2001, and I'll link that to the description below, where he brought a lot of whistleblowers out to the front. They talked about a lot of different things. It's actually just mind-boggling and mind-blowing information that they talked about, what these whistleblowers came forward with. They talked about several things. I mean, it's pretty interesting, and I'll do a breakdown of that video pretty soon, but I will put a link below in the description to his video, because one of these testimonies I'm actually going to extract from there. You'll hear a couple of minutes of this particular person talking about it, and then the other one's going to be William Tompkins as well. He's got a pretty interesting story. It's really short, but I'll let you guys listen to the audio for that. So let me go ahead, let me quit my yapping, and let's go ahead and listen to a couple of these testimonies.
Good morning. My name is Carl Wolf, and I was a precision electronics photographic repairman with a top secret crypto clearance in the United States Air Force. I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. In 1965, in mid-1965, I was loaned to the Lunar Orbiter Project at NASA on Langley Field. Dr. Colley was in charge of that project. They had problems with a piece of electronic equipment that was bottlenecking their production of photographs. I went to the facility, and when I walked into the facility, there were scientists from all over the world. I was stunned, actually, to see people at a NASA project from all over the world. It didn't make any sense to me initially. I was taken into the laboratory where the equipment was malfunctioning. I couldn't repair it in the dark. I asked to have it removed. A airman second class was in the dark room at that time. I was also an airman second class. I was interested in how the whole process functioned, how the data got from the lunar orbiter to the laboratory. I asked the young man if he'd describe the process to me. He did. About 30 minutes into the process, he said to me, in a very distressed way, by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs were structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, spherical buildings, and towers. And at that point, I was very concerned because I knew we were working on compartmentalized security. He had breached security, and I was actually frightened at that moment. And I did not question him any further. And a few moments later, someone did come into the room. I worked there for 3 more days, and I remember going home and naively thinking, I can't wait to hear about this on the evening news. And here it is, more than 30 years later, and I hope we hear about it tonight. And I will testify under oath before Congress that what I'm saying is the truth.
So pretty interesting information from him. That was the first time I heard about that several years ago, and it's always blown my mind that he came forward and he talked about that. Now, a lot of people are possibly wondering why he wasn't in the recent UFO or UAP conference where the Congress brought several whistleblowers forward and they talked about this information. You guys know this happened earlier last year, towards the middle of last year and stuff. But a lot of people are not aware that he actually died at the age of 74. I believe it was in 2018. And he was actually bicycling. There's an article on, I'll leave a link in the description as well. He was actually bicycling at the age of 74 and he got hit, and he was killed when he got hit. Pretty interesting right there, but I'll leave a link below to this description, or to this actual article, so you guys can read through that. And we're gonna go to our last person that's gonna actually talk, and this is pretty interesting too. I did do a short on it, but listen to what he has to say.
Let's get to when it was it Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, and he said that thing that you heard him say, and Michael wants to get real specific about this. So basically there were 7 huge craft there, and you said on one of the shows out there, you said that the reptilians actually showed up beneath their craft and they gave the finger.
Okay, they were parked around the side of the crater. Okay, they were not parked on it, they were floating above it.
Okay, yeah.
So there were hundreds of these 9-foot reptilian guys standing with their legs.
Hundreds.
Yeah, they were all the way across the underneath their vehicles,
Okay,
standing
so
on the
9
crater.
feet.
And his testimony is pretty interesting as well. There's about a 2 or 3 minute interview out there where he talks about particular aliens, these reptilians, and also these grays and stuff. Now, some of the grays he does describe do look like these gray or skinny Bob or Ebian, as they're calling them nowadays, where they have the large heads, large eyes, they're black. I've heard different rumors about these, that these things may be androids or robots. That's kind of why they move the way they do. I've heard that there's little aliens inside their head controlling the whole body, so I don't know, but we'll get into that at a later point in time this year. But the stuff about the moon has always been interesting. There's tons of videos out there where people are talking about a lot of these craters and stuff are actually structures, and they have things underneath the structure. So put down in the comments below if you guys have heard anything else about anything being on the moon. I've heard a lot of stuff about it, but I'm interested in what you guys have to say about this. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and then stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate you guys watching.
Thank you.